Interesting. Interesting. So we just watched A Wrinkle in Time, the Disney movie that was just came out in the last year or so. Some spectacularly bad makeup. I just want to say, literally, it was very, very difficult to watch the movie, just because the makeup was quite literally just that fucking bad. The eyebrow shit. I'm telling you, the eyebrows. What is it with fucking eyebrows? Oh my god.
Yeah, there's a few images there I'm gonna have to bleach my brain to get rid of.
Yeah. I didn't know Oprah Winfrey was in the movie, and it's probably a good thing, because I don't think I would have even watched the movie if I'd known she was in it, because I hate her so badly. Just into no school of makeup.
I started to say real quick about that makeup. It just hit me as you said that. It's like, that makeup's over the top. I mean, what the fuck?
As someone who was for many years a professional makeup artist, and I did a lot of theatrical stuff, and I don't know, is Gail still here with us? Because, I mean, nope, looks like Gail's left. Too bad. Gail probably had to leave because the makeup was so fucking bad. I think that's probably, if I ask her tomorrow, she's going to say, I just couldn't watch anymore because the makeup was so bad. You can do incredible, fantastical fantasy type makeup that is really awesome and out there and outlandish, but like good. And like Oprah Winfrey's makeup was so fucking bad. Everyone's makeup's so fucking bad. And I'm sorry, distracting from the movie. But that's my little rant to start off. The costumer, the hairdresser, and the makeup artist all should be taken out back of the tree line and shot. Just
rubber stamp.
Yeah, you're fired. Definitely. It did make it creepy, okay? And Penny, there was one of the things. All the way through that movie, I kept waiting for the three women to be bad, to be part of the it. Because other than the one woman and the Indian woman, who she was quite, like, her character was kind of nice, but Oprah Winfrey and the other chick, Reese Witherspoon? Is that it? They just exuded nasty. Like, all the way through the movie, I'm like, I don't trust you guys. As far as I can throw you, I honestly, right up to the very last second, kept expecting them to turn out to be, yes, Elaine, the three witches. Like seriously, that's how it just exuded that. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe my preconceived opinion, just because I dislike Oprah Winfrey so much, but yeah, I really did expect her to turn out to be the Wicked Witch of the West. I really, really did.
You just made me think real quick of the Witches of Eastwick, the new Witches of Eastwick.
The new Witches of Eastwick, yeah, because Witches of Eastwick had better makeup. Now, there was a lot of interesting, okay, Hollywood does what Hollywood does best, right? It's like it's almost like more and more it feels like they're forced to give you pieces. They give the pieces, but it's like I said on Wednesday night, the best lie to tell is 80% truth, 20% bullshit, and then let people try and figure out which is which. And this movie, Shane, I read the book, but I read the book, Wrinkle in Time. Pardon me. It had to have been like 35 years ago that I read it. So that's what I said before we started watching. I was like, okay, suspend. If you recently read the book, if you read the book and it's your favorite book, everyone who's a real fan of the book hated the movie. And I can understand why. So you have to kind of go into it as this is a separate book. This is not, look at it as a movie as being a completely separate movie, not as part of the book, right?
Yeah, it was very loose.
Very loose. Very loose. Like I said, luckily I don't remember enough of the details of the book so I was pretty certain that I'd be able to sit and watch the movie as a standalone movie without trying to tie it into the book. I actually want to go back. I'm going to have to read the book now. I will have to go back and read the book.
I know. I want to reread it again and see the characters and everything, because those characters are almost like, you know, like Sleeping Beauty with the little witches that take the Sleeping Beauty out into the woods and keep her away from the bad character. It was like those bubbly, more of a bubbly
and warm
personality, or what, warm. They were like cookies and milk. They were truly good. And to use an Oprah and what's her name, Reese Witherspoon, like two of the biggest Hollywood witches going. It was.
And like I said,
it
came across, and it wasn't just like my own personal bias, but like it really came. They weren't nice. They weren't bubbly. They weren't inviting. You didn't instantly trust them. Like seriously, like I said, through the whole movie, I was expecting them to turn evil at any point in time, because that's the kind of energy they exuded even on the screen. I don't know. 80%, 20%. Stephanie, I think you're right. Stephanie wrote, disclosure has been demanded, so they have to give it, I think. But they are they're doing it in such a way as to twist it. And I think that's it, right? And that's what I said Wednesday night about, if you give 80% of the truth, and then all you have to do is twist the conclusion. Like, just take it and just, or even better is lead someone to jump to their own conclusion by the subtle pieces that have been put along inside it to twist it to be all fucking false, fake. There's some pieces in that movie. I mean, there's a couple of pieces in that movie, like even the whole opening scene with the father doing the physics and the way he's talking, etc. You go, oh yeah, this is going to be. I was like charged right in. It was like, oh, this is going to be such a good movie. He's talking about frequency. He's talking about the universe. He's talking about folding space and time, and how you don't need rocket ships to get to the other side of the universe, and you can do it with just your mind and just finding your frequency, etc. And then, but there's some interesting pieces in there. Number one that got me, and I'll just give my own opinion. You guys tell me what you think. Is like the whole thing of the it, which is this controlling thing that comes in. It felt to me like a twist on the idea of the AI. Like, this is the AI that runs the construct, and it will come in and it's going to send. It's almost not. Let me rephrase that. I'm not phrasing that very well. The virus in the construct. The it was like the virus within the construct, that it just kept spreading. And if you even looked at it, it had that whole concept of like the black tendrils and etc. And you kind of get the images of the black goo. You get the idea of like I said, of the way a virus would spread, even to the point of when they show you the one kind of close up, it looks almost like some kind of a bizarre blackened molecule type thing.
What was that movie? The other movie, Lucy, was it? Where the mind went 100%. It had those tendrils of that blackness, you know. And
they keep putting that piece out, right? Like there's like it's a subtlety that just keeps going out. Again, that black in Lucy, like you said, where she turns it, like she literally starts dissolving into the black tendrils and starts reaching out into all the computers and across the universe type thing. It's a piece they keep kind of putting out. It's the same. There's a symbolism there. And I think we need to kind of maybe get into it and look into that symbolism a little more. Like, what are they trying to pass off? And because in the end, if you look at those two movies as the two examples, so Lucy and A Wrinkle in Time, in Lucy, that's her achieving her full potential, unlocking her entire mind, achieving this full potential. There's nothing nefarious. There's nothing evil about it whatsoever.
And remember, she was able to encapsulate the time. Remember that was also time. She went back to the beginning to end. There was no time. in the end of Lucy when like it went back to the beginning to the end, and she could manipulate it all, and there was like all of time was now for her.
Yep. And you have the Wrinkle at time, same thing, but then this time the black is like evil, and it's penetrating everything, and it's going to take you over, and it's going to.
But do you think so? Because in the end, the love went through it, and it was just a piece of the puzzle. Like if you have the right frequency or you have the right mindset, it's just another piece of the whole. It's just like another part of it. But if you let it take you over, then you become trapped in its own web.
Or trapped within its loop.
Right.
That's kind of what came to me, was like almost like being trapped within the loop. Now here's the thing.
Like the dad being there for 4 years and not even realizing.
And not even knowing. And that time is irrelevant. There is no time. And that was the interesting part of it. For him, he'd been gone, what? A day, 2 days. Maybe he felt he'd been gone a month even. And yet 4 years had gone by. The subtle twisting. Now there's a piece here, and I'm going to, like I said, I'm just going to give you guys my own opinion. And this is something that has really followed me for a long time in my little own personal journey through all the fucking loops and dips that we've been going through. One of the pieces that has driven me nuts, even when I was like really heavily getting into all the new age kind of religion kind of stuff, in that whole love and light thing, is the one thing that always used to always be would be that push of like, oh, we need to do a meditation, and all these bad guys, we need to send them love. Let's send them love. We've got to send them love, etc., etc. And I used to say, you know what? Energy is a frequency. If they can feed off the hate, they can feed off the love just as much. So why are you sending these bad guys your energy? Why are you sending off all of this? And regardless of whether it's love or hate, it doesn't matter. You're still feeding it. And when they did that whole thing with, at the very end, with her and her little brother, and when she starts, she's like, oh, but I love you, I love you, I love you, I love you, la, 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 and love breaks through. To me, it was like there was a little bit of a point there. I was like, oh, here we go. This is where you get into that Hollywood, let's twist it all into this kind of new age piece. Because I absolutely agree. I believe that love is like the strongest frequency, and that we can do so much with that frequency. But there's a point there, and it's like I say, go into that 80-20% kind of split. And there's that little piece that, like I say, all the way through the movie, they just keep putting these little pieces in where you're like, oh, that feels like that. They're just kind of pushing the rhetoric, or pushing the agenda, so to speak. And there was a couple of parts in that movie where it almost felt like it was really going somewhere. You were going to get something, you were going to have a moment where all of a sudden you were going to, it was literally just going to be like a pinnacle moment in the movie where you were going to get this piece of information. And it felt like, I felt that about 3 times during the movie, where I was like, oh, here we go. And then they like crush it down, and you're like, oh, see that, how they just took it and just kind of twisted it into this kind of Hollywood soppy, no meaning. Yeah. Yeah, Stephanie, I agree. The only thing I send out is a strong fuck off. I do my best to ignore them. Yeah. Yeah, you know what? Okay, there's a good point. Stephanie just said, I'm hoping that there's a grain of truth to the whole gods get their powers from believers. And that is a piece that comes through in a lot of mythology, in a lot of mythology, but historical narrative. I mean, it's been put into so many stories, that aspect of how they feed off of the belief of the believers, the energy of the believers. Even what was that awesome kids movie? called Rise of the Guardians, with the Santa Claus, who's the big tough Russian guy, and the Easter Bunny and Jack Frost, etc. And that was it. As the kids stopped believing in Santa Claus and stopped believing in the Tooth Fairy and the Sandman, they started losing their powers, right? When the kids stop believing and stop paying energy into it, they start losing their powers. And again, like I said, that's a meme that just continuously plays out over and over and over again. Oh, I don't know that book. Terry Pratchett's Small Gods. No, I don't know that book. I may have to check into it. Yeah, Penny, I agree. We're supposed to unlock this shit for us, not for them. So yeah, overall, there was pieces of the movie that were very interesting. Like for me, the physics aspect of it was frequency. The opening of the movie when he's playing with the frequency with the sand, so you get to see you're seeing the frequency patterns and. But yeah, just seemed like kind of typical Hollywood. Let's take something, let's plant a piece into it. And yeah, I kind of agree. It feels like they have to put this disclosure in, like they're being forced to put disclosure in. So they got to disguise it as best they possibly can to twist the narrative. Like again, kind of like just get people to go to a different answer, to draw the wrong conclusion.
Well, I think they also have to kind of keep on with the book theme a little bit as well, and I think the book expands more on that. It was one of like the first sciencey slash, sci-fi slash like fantasy type of things that you can get into when you're a kid. It's like you have that mindset.
Yeah.
And that's why I want to reread it again, because I'm like there's little pieces of it, like no, it was a bigger explanation. There was more to this. There was more to it, I think, and they kind of did the Disney spin on it.
Yep.
And kind of made it like smaller, but it was more of like a true sci-fi type of a novel, that kids could understand or wrap their heads around, in that exploration of it. So,
yeah, I have to read it again. Definitely going to have to. I even think I have an online copy of it somewhere because I downloaded a massive library of books for my kids. So I'm pretty sure I've got it.
We read that book around the same time that we did the witches and the wardrobe one,
Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe?
Right, another like go through whatever, a lot of symbology. It was kind of one of those type of, that type of timeline in my youth that I was that we were introduced to that type of book.
We read that book and Day of the Triffids in the same semester in school. I can remember because we read Wrinkle in Time, and then we read Day of the Triffids. And there was another one we read. Another one of the real classic ones like that too. I can't remember what it was now though. So what do you guys think? Anyways, I'd like to get some opinions from you guys. Anything that stood out for you, or either one way or the other, right? There we go. Penny, hold on. Let me grab this link before it skims by. I'm going to open it up in my browser so that tomorrow when I post this, I can post the PDF to the book too. There it is. Yay. There we go. So I've got it. So I've got it saved. Wow, it's a lot longer than I thought. Oh no, sorry. I misread the number. Apparently my dyslexia is getting really bad.
Hey Dee.
Yes, my darling.
Folks, just a quickie, and it's get my brain working. It may well be my goldfish bowl of a memory, but when you were saying about the we got to give them love and all this kind of thing, well, unless I got it wrong, unless I was seeing the thing differently to you, she wasn't telling it that she loved it.
No.
it was the little boy, and that, you know, to me, that was the message that I got. That is what's important. It's the family, it's the friends, it's the community, whatever. Even though he was taken over by this entity, you know, it was her little brother that she was talking to. So yeah, so the it can fuck off.
Yeah, the it can fuck off, totally. And no, I completely agree with you. I was having a flashback moment, and Mia, you'll probably be the only one here who will understand the flashback moment. Is I just before I said that, I said I've met children like this before.
Yeah, one or two, haven't we?
One in particular, about even in the same age group, and literally, I like when it took over Charles Wallace. That's the only thing I saw.
Right.
And that's where I was just like, whoa, yeah, I've seen this before. Yeah, like really seen this before with children.
No, I saw it in more than one. I don't know how you.
Yeah, I know, but there was just one in particular that I used to have to deal with regularly on a daily basis, and yeah. So
yeah, I know where you're
so
going.
I have a slight, like I said, my response is due more to the personal backgrounds that I have in the situation. But no, I totally, yeah. Damien, yeah, exactly. No, and I get that. I mean, that's the whole thing is when it's our family, when it's our friends, we send the love that we have, and we continuously do it, and you do whatever you can. And that is the true love. That is the true absolute love. But it's not the, I don't know, love and light love. The light and fluffy love. I'm not sure if you understand. Like, I'm trying to define the difference in that. Yeah.
No, it's the genuine kind.
Yeah, exactly.
It's the real thing, let's say.
Yep. I agree. I do want, there's something about that whole black goo stuff, the black tendrils, etc., the virus, so to speak. There's a piece there in that. And like Shane said about the whole thing about with the in Lucy, the fact that we've seen it there too. It is a visual that keeps coming up in movies. So I always kind of question, okay, why are they using that visual? The other thing I got from the movie we watched tonight with The Wrinkle in Time is there was a part of it when you first saw it, you had that whole Cthulhu type, that squid octopus kind of feeling that is been, again, really all of a sudden come back out. I mean, Cthulhu is Lovecraft, right? I mean, really, who's thought about Cthulhu in the last 50 years? And then all of a sudden in the last 4 or 5 years, this whole Cthulhu thing is all coming back up again. And you see it everywhere. Like, you see it in TV shows and people making jokes about it. And it's like, wait, why is that coming up right now? So when I saw that in the movie, it had a very Cthulhu feel to it, which made me go think about it. Like, well, Deb, like you said, I've seen them too. You see those tentacle things. A lot of us have seen those. And that's when he's like, oh, so what are they getting at here? Like, what they're hinting at something, or just what are they trying to say with this? And you know, if it is so-called disclosure, so to speak, or is it them just taking the piss? Because Chris said it, right?
Sorry, dude.
So say, Hannah.
I didn't mean to cut you off there. No, it's funny you should mention tentacles, because I don't, I mean, I love Emily, but I can't listen to a whole lot of her. But I synchronistically caught something that she did with this, I don't recall her name, but this woman that does Nox Mente.
Yeah, yep.
And they were talking about octopuses, octopi.
Octopi.
And the tentacles and the energy around it. I don't know whether you caught that show. I haven't.
No.
Yeah, I know. There's too much to watch, too much to listen to.
I have 3 videos lined up right now on my computer that I've had lined up for a week.
Mm.
And one of them's a Cliff High. One of them is Emily, actually, and Jeff Gates. And the other one is, I can't even remember what the other one is. And it's like they've been sitting like open, going, okay, if I just leave them open, then sooner or later I'll have time that I can actually sit down and hit play.
Yeah.
That's the theory. Never actually works that way, but that's the theory.
No, but it was just interesting what you were saying about tentacles, because that's exactly what they were referring to. And I think that they're referring to what they see in Dreamtime and stuff with the energies.
Well, okay, and it's interesting because Chris Gio and Cherie did a whole thing, would have been last August, during the big solar eclipse. And they did something, and like I said, I didn't follow their stuff. Like I said, I don't really follow anyone because I don't have time. But they did a thing about the eclipse, and I think they'd taken ayahuasca, if I remember. And what's the first thing they saw? Was tentacles. Tentacles coming down. They were like, holy fucking shit. So yeah, it's all obviously relevant as far as I'm concerned. When you get it and it keeps coming across like this everywhere, it's obviously relevant. The trick is figuring out what part is relevant.
Well, and I think, well, I don't know. It's just my perspective, but I think anything that's done under, shall we say, the aid of, if you want to call it that.
Yeah.
Any kind of a substance, then to me, it's not the real deal. I think if you can see it without that, you can believe in it. Let's say you can believe in it more if it's unassisted, shall we say.
But that's one of those things. It's one of the, for me, as I look at it, I can say, okay, people have had visions that they've seen when they've been on ayahuasca and DMT or even just acid. And you may go, yeah, okay, well, you were high and fucking hallucinating, so... But when we have other people continuously seeing it, that to me is I take it very, very seriously then. Because, I mean, things like DMT, whatever, when you're breaking down some of those barriers, which is what a lot of those drugs are used for, to help kind of break down some of the barriers. So when I see people doing that and they see this, and then this person, and this person, and this, and this, and this, and this, then all of a sudden you're like I said, it's not coincidental. And that's this thing with the tentacles bit. The black goo and the tentacles. We just keep getting it over and over and over. And it's really funny because recently, having gone back, and what did I watch recently? Like in the last 6 months, I watched a movie that was from the 80s. I can't remember what I was watching now. And there was black goo in the movie. And I literally went, holy shit. Like, okay. So even in the 80s, they were putting out some of this kind of ideology anyways. There's an idea has been put there that kind of expresses this.
You know, in the Bible, there is a way of, like, they give you directions on how to deal with, like, if black goo has gotten into your home, and how to treat it and stuff. And if that doesn't work, eventually you have to, like, destroy it.
Really?
Yeah.
Where is that?
I don't know where it's at. I don't know. I was watching something about black goo because there's a lot of things about black goo now. And it was like, you have to do this, that, the other. And if it does, they were talking about the black goo, like settling on like all these Washington monuments and stuff. Yeah. Isn't it interesting? Like they can't get rid of it. They can't get out of limestone. And then someone was relating it back to like in the days of the Bible when they said if it gets into your home like this, you know, treat it like this, that, and the other. And if it doesn't go away, you basically have to destroy the building and get out. But they had like it was like certain oils and whatever that to help treat it, you know, like if you see it coming in the corners of your home. So it seems like, you know, nothing new is under the sun, right? So it's something that's been around in past that people mentioned it, you know, in something like the Bible, you know, to relate to you, to that it's not probably a good thing. you know?
Well, it's interesting because on Wednesday I brought up on the after show discussion, I brought up the Chani Project. And one of the things that was brought up in the Chani Project, one of the things that apparently was one of the triggers for all the governments of the world to go, holy shit, was that the oil would become infected. And when and if the oil became infected, and infected is the word they used, everything would be fucked. Because you have to think, well, whatever, if you think of it literally in the literal sense of the oil, what do we use? Everything in our lives is made with petroleum oil. All your plastics is oil. All your roads or asphalt are made with oil. Your cars run on oil. So much. So that was apparently one of the trigger points that got all the governments of the world got involved, apparently, purportedly, with the Chani Project stuff.
And
was when they said,
oil is carbon based, right?
Yeah.
So basically anything that's carbon, I mean, I would assume that's like a carbon thing, you know, like your medicines are carbon. I mean, that's a big element in any oil substance is the carbon. So if your carbon is becoming infected, your air is infected. Like what you're breathing is infected.
It wasn't carbon. It
wasn't the carbon? Okay.
The oil.
Just the oil, okay.
The oil. And the fact that the oil is like the blood of the planet that's ever renewing underneath, like the ground, like how you do. So whenever they say these things like, oh, Saudi Arabia is running out of oil. These bullshit. Oil is self-regenerating, right? Like you empty an oil, well, you walk away for 2 years, you come back, and it's filling back up again, right? So, and I found it interesting that it was just another piece for me because the Black Goose stuff has never really held my attention because there was just too much way out there shit on it. Like there were too many people who were like going way the fuck out there, and I had conversations with him that was like, he's just like, okay, I'm sorry, like I'm gonna have to just like walk away now because like that's just, I need to be able to figure this shit out. And the more that I'm looking at it now, as other things coming back, and like I said, in movies now, we're seeing it everywhere being used in movies. So it's kind of like the catch-22. Is it because we are aware of it, therefore we're seeing it? Or has it always been there and we just weren't aware before? Yeah, Howard Klaus Vella, yeah. Yeah, but he went like...
I didn't really like the movie at all, but one piece really stuck out to me when they were in the other Earth, and they said that it was an Earth of many faces, and it kept changing, and it morphed into, you know, even down to the Stepford Wives suburbia. Weird. Oh, I was sitting there going, ugh, this is the worst. But that seems to be a recurring theme in a lot of movies.
Yes, it is.
So many different, well, even the food being sand. I mean, that was really Matrixy to me. That whole Earth thing.
Yep.
Seemed real like the Matrix to me.
Yep, and that's what I said. It's like they call it the it. They translate that into it's like the AI. It can change it up and is switching it up to adjust to each. Okay, we'll play this story pattern out. Oh, that didn't work. They didn't fall for that. Like, you know, they didn't go in with the Stepford Wives to go have fucking lunch.
Remember when Charles Wallace could taste it? Remember he could taste the sand, and that's when they wanted him. And everybody else wouldn't be able to see it. It's like us seeing the Mandela effect. Like some of us can't see it, some of us can. Ooh, that's trippy.
That's exactly what it made me think of.
Yeah.
And real quick, and then I'll shut up. I was telling my daughter that we were watching this today, and I said, I've never read it. And I said, did you ever read A Wrinkle in Time? And she said, yeah, I have it. And she reaches over and pulls it out. So I'm reading it tonight. Flipped it. It's a short book, so I'm going to read it tonight. And I'll post about what I think about the book. Because, The
read,
movie. The movie. No.
Yeah, well, and like I said, everyone I know, when the movie came out, there was a whole lot of people groaning, going, "Oh man, another good book going to get destroyed." You know, another good story being destroyed by Disney, right? So I deliberately would not reread the book yet because I wanted to see the movie first, and then I'll go reread the book. So, like I said, it's been so many years and years and years. But yeah, I mean, that was it. Everyone who was a fan of the book were like up in arms. There was not a single person who'd read the book who enjoyed the movie. They were all like, "No, it was fucking terrible." So we'll do it in reverse process. We'll watch. Now we'll go read the book. Yeah, Diane, the troll food. Never eat the troll food. Exactly. That was the first thing where the lady was like, "Would you like to come in and have dinner? I have all this roast and all these cakes." It's like, don't eat the food. Whatever you do, don't eat the food. You never want to eat food. Yeah, I held off. Wouldn't even read the Harry Potter books until after I'd seen the first 4 Harry Potter movies before I sat down and read all the Harry Potter books for the exact same reason. I'm like, I enjoyed the movies for what they were, but everyone I know who read the books just ranted about the movies.
It was funny too, the dude that got, what was his name? John Carl? Or Carl, what was the little boy's name?
Charles Wallace.
Yeah. Can you hear me okay?
Yep.
All right. It was funny how he became like a puppet that fell apart.
Oh, the guy with the red eyes. It was like
Yeah.
it transferred to the kid because
Yeah.
the kid at one point had the red eyes, right?
Yeah.
It was like, well, we don't need this puppet anymore. Now we got a real boy. We don't need Pinocchio.
Exactly.
We
Yep.
got a real boy. We'll just transfer from one to the other. And don't eat food and don't glitter your eyebrows. Yeah, please don't glitter your eyebrows. It's not attractive, no matter what Hollywood tries to tell you. Shaving off your eyebrows and gluing on little sequins and glitter, yeah. I'm sorry that I'm just going to go back to that. She just looked evil. There was nothing about Oprah Winfrey that was remotely welcoming.
I found her confusing. Her look was confusing.
Because it was harsh. Like the makeup was hard. It was harsh. It was very... I don't know. But there's just something going on right now with makeup. And I don't understand it. There's something going on right now. There's this, and it has been for a couple of years, that there's this thing of makeup has to look completely fake, and how you have to totally remake over your face, like in layer upon layer, and like concealers and highlighters and fucking all this stuff, and these eyebrows now that you see all the models and all the actresses have these, they're just drawn on eyebrows, and they're obviously drawn on. It's not even like they try to, it just, I don't know. There's something about the whole, and it just freaks me out. It freaks me out. I mean, in the 80s, when I first started doing makeup professionally, yeah, okay. We were a little overboard with the blue mascara and the pink and yellow and purple eyeshadow. It's a given. It was a little outlandish with the fuchsia pink lipstick with like the red lip liner and the whole, okay. But that's it, Stephanie. It's like a drag queen vibe. All the makeup.
Well, that's what I was gonna say. I think I think that's the agenda. There's this whole and I hate to say it because there are people who I hate even this conversation because then you sound like a whatever. But there is like this kind of a push that, you know, this androgynous type of look. And on the runways and everything, you see everybody with these really thick eyebrows. You can't really tell who's a man, who's a woman. And it's almost like the way they want you to sculpt that face is like do a really sharp angle. It's almost like take a woman out of a woman and then, or make men more womanly. It's really an androgynous type of a look. And I noticed that, I'm like, why in the world I mean, it used to be the thing to try to get your eyebrows nice and thin, you know, and now it's like take it on and it looks so bad. I hate it. Ugh.
I hate it. It's fake, and it's a mask.
Yes.
It's a mask. And like I said, it's all about changing your looks into something else that is like a mask. there's nothing natural at all at the moment when it comes to that. And that being pushed by Hollywood, by the fashion agenda, I don't, you wish you could go around to all the young girls and just shake them all and be like, seriously, just stop.
Yeah, a lot of these ladies that sell some of the makeup products, you know, they themselves look like movie star actresses.
Yep.
You know, yeah.
Yeah, I know. It's bad.
For me, if I ever bothered, it's just to kind of get rid of some of the blemishes and hide a little bit of the under eye circle or whatever if you're tired, and you know, or even out things, or use a little bronzer because my freckles pop out, and you know, try to eve out some tans and stuff like that. Being in Florida, but I don't like that thick, masky redraw your face.
There was a video, and I don't know, guys, maybe it was posted in the UU group of some makeup artists doing makeovers on these old ladies. And they made all the old ladies look like fucking drag queens. It was horrific. And there was about, I stopped watching the video after about 3 different women that they did. And they put, like saying that where the foundation has been put on so thick that you might as well have been using like a plastering trowel to put it on. And they did all this, you know, like this heavy concealers and highlighters, and it was like, they look horrible. Like these women were like, they looked like drag queens when they were done. And I don't understand. Anyways. Yeah, this is my makeup. I put on mascara and some eyeliner today. That was my makeup. And everyone's talking makeup stuff. Oh, I remember that. No, I did this. And yep. No, I mean, literally, it's funny because with the makeup, I've got teenage girls, so they want me to teach them how to do makeup properly. So we sat down, we've done like lessons and how, you know, like how you can do it like this and do it like this is like this, and you can add a little more and, you know, whatever you know. And the one thing I've always taught every person I've ever taught to do makeup was the best makeup job in the world is the makeup job that no one knows you're wearing makeup. If you go out, if I was like going out in public somewhere and someone said, "Oh, your makeup's really nice," I'd be offended because it means like, holy shit, I did that bad a job that it looks like I'm wearing a face full of makeup that someone's going to actually comment on it. Then wow. But yeah, like I do that. All the kids, the young, and I've taught a shit ton of young people how to do makeup. And it's one thing I always say to them: if you can make your makeup look natural, even with color, even if you're using a little bit of blue or whatever eyeshadow or whatever, if it still looks natural with just a touch of color, you've achieved what you're going for. Unless you're going to go see the Rocky Horror Picture Show, in which case the gloves are off and you do what you want. But you know, that's again. Oh, Stephanie, that's so funny you're saying about painting your toenails. I literally painted my fingernails last week. And it's the first time I've had nail polish on in eons, like literally. And it's just because I'm doing an experiment right now and I'm letting my nails grow, and they've gotten to the point of stupidly long where I can barely type now. But I'm doing an experiment because I'm using C60 in my nails, and since I've started doing that, they grow so ridiculously long and hard that I can't even keep them cut. So I'm trying to see how long they'll grow before they break. So I was like, well, while they look so nice and long, I guess I could put some nail polish on. And I fucking hate it. I just turned to my daughter and was like, no, seriously, it's got to go. Back to the plain nails. Sorry, can't do it.
That's funny, Dan.
And she was like, going, here, Mom, wear this red. You got lovely long nails. And you put like on one fingernail, you go like, okay, I'll try the red. Oh, no, that's coming off right now. Take it off. No, here, try this purple. I'm like, put that on. Yeah, no, that's coming off too. So that's his. And she thought it was boring because I was like, it's like completely neutral colored. I'm like, no, that I might be able to tolerate.
You have such pretty hands and nails, though. You can play.
No.
No, it's a pain in the neck to keep up with too, isn't it?
No, I literally was just saying I was washing dishes today, and I was like using my nails to like scrape crud off the bottom of a pot.
Oh my God!
Literally, like that's. And I was like, okay, you know what? Maybe I'm gonna have to just stop the experiment and just cut them all away.
You should be.
I can't take it anymore. I'm like typing. My typing is so bad now because of the length of my nails. It's like, okay. No, they're just gonna have to go. Cut them right frickin' down to the quick like I usually have them.
You should be convinced by now.
Yeah, well, my whole thing is this. So, like I said, I'm doing a C60 special serum that's for cuticles and nails, and it's because my nails are growing so fucking bad right now. I was like, okay, well, I'm gonna work on this. So I always experiment on myself. Everything that I do, I start off with experimenting on myself. So my hands, I treat them hard. Like my hands are washing pots and pans, and I'm scrubbing, and you're doing hand laundry, and I am not gentle. I'm not ladylike with my hands.
Yeah, same here.
I probably wash my hands 50 times a day. So that's why I was like, okay, if my hands can survive, if my nails can survive what I put them through, like I say, like scraping labels off of crap. I literally was scraping burnt egg off the bottom of a pot with my thumbnail today. Like if they can survive that, then it's kind of like proof of concept. Stuff fucking works, right? So I was like, I'm really torturing myself now. It's like, okay, I think I'm gonna have to cut them off. I can't take it much longer.
Those are some badass fingernails when you can actually scrape the bottom of a skillet or something.
I literally was. That's what I was doing. Like, just come off.
I've done that actually. My fingernails aren't that long, but mine are short compared to yours, I'm sure. And I do that.
Maybe you can bottle that C60 for nails and get it sold in the
I will be, and I will be. Like once I finish my own testing, I have a couple of testers working with it right now, and it's like, okay, well, we'll finish testing it. I'm tweaking the recipe a little bit. So yeah. Once I'll probably have it out in about maybe 2 months from now. I'll probably have it out. So.
Oh, good.
Oh no, not me, Penny. If I've gotten older, my nails have gotten more and more fragile, and more they split, they crack, they rip. I am always. That's why I keep my nails cut really quite short for the most part, because they're always in water, because I'm always scrubbing shit, and I've got my hands like you're hand bleaching shit, and your hands are bleach and crap. My nails are tattered, and I've broken all my fingers like over time, over years. The only 2 fingers I haven't broken are my 2 ring fingers, but all my other fingers I've broken multiple times, and a lot of times I've broken them at like the base of the nail, which is the worst break to have because it damages the nail bed so badly. And so, for example, I've broken that thumb 3 times, and I've broken it every single time in the exact same spot, right in this area here, which is the nail bed. And for 30 years, I couldn't grow a thumbnail. I had to keep it cut right to the quick, because the moment it started to grow, it would split back, and it would literally, like, to the point all you had was on this part of your nail was like tissue paper thin. It would really, really, really get back. Yeah. So no, my nails are not that strong, and that's why I've been really impressed. Is the fact of like, holy shit, I can't believe how strong these things are now. Holy shit, really, Ann? Man, I'd be jealous. Yeah, back when I used to love doing my nails and all the rest of it. Yeah, I tried fake nails for a little while there, and anything to make my nails look nice. Okay, you guys are fucking hysterical. I'm sorry, what comes to mind, Ann, when you're saying that is, do you guys remember the movie Dumb and Dumber? Where they take an angle grinder to his toenails? Bad movie. Really, really bad movie. One that we're never going to watch. Tee hee hee. So anyways, off the topic of makeup and nails and all the rest of it. Yeah, so I don't know. Like I said, it was a bad Hollywood movie.
I was going to say real quick that, hey, Dumb and Dumber, the infamous toilet scene, that was funny, the original one. Then, of course, like someone posted in UnFuckers, it's like they changed that scene. Yeah, Jeff Daniels, yeah, he never dumped the toilet, like emptied it out of the window. They changed that scene. He never emptied that toilet out the window. And and plus he said he was gargling. And she asked him, "What are you doing?" He said, "I'm gargling." Originally he said, "I'm shaving." Yeah.
I only saw that movie once, and I saw it literally when it first came out on VHS. We rented it, and I was like, never, ever again. I've never seen the second movie. I hated that movie. I actually got up and walked out of the room several times while watching the movie because it was so bad. Yeah, Mia, you don't want to, trust me, you don't want to see it. Just don't do it. Yeah. I liked some of Jim Carrey's stuff. There was a couple of things that Jim Carrey did that were funny, and like genuinely funny. Like the very first time I saw The Mask, I laughed my ass off. I really, really did.
That's the only good movie I could say he did. I didn't like most of his work.
Yeah. I prefer British comedy, to be truthful.
British comedy, yes, thank you.
British comedy over American comedy.
Okay.
See it, Stephanie. Ace Ventura is another one. It literally makes me go like, we've got it. The kids will watch it every so often because they think it's funny. I can't watch it. It's too stupid. It's too stupid, and it literally makes me uncomfortable in its stupidity. I will get up and walk out of the room for scenes because I just can't even. I cringe. Exactly, Shane. I just cringe. It's like, I can't even watch this. It's so fucking stupid. No, even Mr. Bean kind of does it for me too. There are moments in Mr. Bean. Blackadder though, fucking love Blackadder. Mr. Bean, not so much, but I love Blackadder. That's fucking awesome.
Did you say Blackadder?
Oh, okay. Do you know the actor who plays Mr. Bean? Is it Rowan Atkins?
Rowan Atkinson, yeah.
Right? Yeah. So he does another British series called Blackadder that is way fucking funnier, and it takes place in there's 3 different Blackadders, like 3 different parts of history, and he kind of Blackadder. I fucking used to laugh my ass off on that.
I'll have to remember to look that up.
Yep, Blackadder. Someone's just typed it in there. It's if you look it up, they're really, really old, and they're great. They're always a giggle. Always a giggle. Like absolutely fabulous. That's another show that I fucking love. Oh. Well,
it's funny. Sorry to say, because it's like it's funny that movies, it's like that. We're just talking about the ones that are actually stupid. But Dumb and Dumber. I admittedly watched that more times than I should have, but just because I did think some of it was stupidly funny. But Idiocracy would be obviously the complete polar opposite and much better choice, obviously for obvious reasons.
Well, for documentary history, the Idiocracy, yes.
Yeah.
And even that one, there's still moments where I'm just like, oh man.
Well, it's creepy when you think about it. How many people have you come across that within 5 minutes, I guess, just one at a time, they say something to you that's like, where did that come from? Or they just, you can tell there's no connection. You're not making a connection with them.
Nick cracked me up a couple of weeks ago. we'd had a conversation with someone, I don't even remember who, someone local. And the same thing, it was so that Nick literally walked off and said, go tell her to have some Gatorade. She obviously needs more electrolytes. And I fucking pissed. I literally had to turn and walk away because I was laughing so hard. And he said it like right to their face. Literally to their face. And he just deadpan as Nick does. And I just about lost my shit. I was laughing so freaking hard. It's like, oh boy. So now that's like, it's a common one. Our husband's like, yeah. They're Gatorade drinkers. That's the new descriptive term when you come across people like that. Yeah, they're Gatorade drinkers.
Now just think now, if you had something in your mouth and when that happened, yeah, you would have just lost it all over the place. Like someone who just loses a mouthful of food or whatever. That's something that funny.
Yeah. Oh, excuse me, guys.
And of course, some people just look at you blankly. Totally goes over their head.
Yeah, well.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. Yeah, I just love those facial expressions. Yeah, and people actually have them. Now, those are the ones I enjoy coming across more. The ones that actually are kind of animated, and they kind of even get the comical side of shit.
Yep.
Even if it's dark, I don't give a fuck as long as it's even makes me laugh.
Yep. As if someone said, kind of that dark comedy, kind of a la Deadpool, because I fucking love Deadpool. I don't know how many times we've watched those movies, the two movies, but a shit ton of times.
Oh, that reminded me. Speaking of watching a movie a shit ton, I actually watched all of Constantine again last night. This morning. Yeah, it's weird. It's on Netflix. It's a newbie on Netflix. Is. Yeah, and I was like, I'm like, okay, fuck it. I started to watch. I told myself, I'm only going to watch some of this because there was something else I was going to check out, that Extinction movie.
Yeah.
And I ended up watching all of Constantine again. I was going to only watch maybe 20 minutes of it, and I got all into it again.
Right. Yeah. We actually watched it with I think it was about 6-7 months ago with Quinlan. Like Quinlan, she's into that kind of a genre of a movie. So I was like, yeah, come on, you can sit down and watch Constantine.
Yeah, plus I had to
don't watch the TV series. The TV series sucks so badly. It's no wonder I think they only let it go 7 or 8 episodes and it got pulled. It's like that bad.
Must have been that bad then. Yeah, it must have been.
Well, they brought the character in. They brought the Constantine character in Green Arrow. The TV show Green Arrow. They brought in Constantine.
I've never heard of Green Arrow.
Really?
That was the other one where they traveled through. Oh yeah, they did use them on Green Arrow, and then the new one that they go through space and time on that Wave Runner thing. Oh, the Legends.
On the Legends,
next season, Constantine's gonna be like on it almost the whole season. Like he's gonna be riding around on the Wave Runner with them.
Oh well, maybe they're trying to bring him back.
I hope. I love that show.
At least in the Green Arrow, like the character as he portrayed it in the Green Arrow episode. I think it was in 2 episodes. And that's how he ends up on the Legends of Tomorrow, is because of what's her name, who was there during one of the ones that Green Arrow.
Yeah, because he saved her soul or something.
Yes, he's the one who saved her soul.
Yeah.
So in that he was really good, but when he had his own series, man, it sucked. They just totally whoever they got to direct and write had obviously never read the comic books ever.
Yeah.
Had no concept. It's like. Had obviously never even seen the movie, just to have an idea.
It started out okay, but it just dragged to the end of it. I was excited when they came out with the first one. I was like, okay, this is probably going to be good, but then it got weird towards the end.
You just made me think, too, you said that something dragging out the end. I didn't like movies that do that they don't really get good enough, or they don't get really any better, and you're just watching and it's like, why the fuck did I sit through all this? And like, yeah, And like Constantine, it gets better as it goes.
Yeah. What
Yeah.
movie was it? Was it just? It was a movie that came out just a few years ago, and it had George Clooney in it. It was a space movie. What was it called? Gravity or something? Was that it, guys? And it was all these. It was like critical acclaim. Oh, it was like, oh, the movie was so awesome. And I said, well, okay, cool. It's a sci-fi type movie. Sure, I'll watch that. And it was like, oh my God, it was so boring. It was
Is that the
long.
one where they just floated through space basically the whole time?
Yeah,
With
it
Sandra
just.
Bullock?
Oh,
Is that the
it
one?
was pain. Yep. It was painful. It was literally painful. I was like, okay, yeah. So no.
Oh, you know what was good? And I got into it, and it was on Freeform, so you kind of have to be whatever. But it was a Marvel show. It was called Cloak and Dagger, and I just barely watched the season through. And that was a whole light, dark thing. And once again, the tentacles. The kid that played the dark side, the cloak went into tentacles, and the light had a saber thing. It was actually like at first I wasn't too sure about it. I was like, a little, maybe this is gonna be too cheesy because it's Freeform, but it's also Hulu, so you never know. And it got good. And next season looks it looks really good, and it's all kind of around New Orleans and like the whatever. I don't know. It was interesting. Just speaking of that whole like tentacles again, and it dealt with the dark and the light, and they had to work together to save the city. And
Well, I'll have to check that out. That's not one that I know. There you go. See,
Yeah,
all kinds of new shit. All kinds of shit out there that you sometimes just don't know about if you don't have the contact with it, right?
Yeah, I just kind of stumbled across it one day, and I was like, oh, this is kind of interesting. It's Marvel. I usually like Marvel stuff, and there's only I think there's 13 episodes because it's Freeform, so I don't ever have too many in a season, so it's easy to get through and everything. So.
Well, it's interesting because we talk about disclosure, and of course Marvel has put a lot of shit out that's got some serious disclosure in it.
Oh yeah.
And the last 2 seasons of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. have been just like, holy shit. Like we're watching and we're pausing the show and going, did you hear what they just said? Holy fuck. Then you watch it, you get halfway through another episode and you're like, oh my God, this is full on the AI shit and the bots and the living in a matrix and living in a created construct that's a computer simulation and uploading consciousness into computers and
Yeah, I started to say real quick too.
And they even have Black Goo there too.
Yes, they do.
Mm-hmm.
Black Goo. I'd forgotten that. Yes, you're right. Black Goo there as well.
And started to say real quick what Stephanie mentioned up there. I think it's one reason I watched Constantine again because my hearing is shit anyway, so I have to turn the volume up. And it's like you said, Stephanie. I'm glad I watched it again with higher volume because it makes more sense. Yeah. Because the way they recorded it, I guess the audio engineering in some movies, including The Matrix even, the volume is so low you have to turn it all the way up. Yeah.
Yep. Anyways, darlings, I gotta go to bed. I'm fading fast. It's 7 minutes to 1 o'clock in the morning, and I am turning into a pumpkin as usual.
Oh, the squash effect.
Yep. That's right.
The squash effect. I just coined that one.
Yep. Yeah, the framework. The framework on Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I didn't get a nap today, Steph. I'm fucking tired. I'm tired. We had a big thunderstorm today, and all I wanted to do was go because it cooled everything off for about 4 hours. Everything kind of chilled out and cooled down. It was I just wanted to go lay down in my bed and have a nap, and instead I squeegeed the roof. Because that's what you do in a thunderstorm in August. You go squeegee the roof off and the terraces.
Yeah.
What are you going to do? Okay, darlings, I love you. I will see you all. Star, you want me to just make you host?
Okay, that'll work.
Let me just.
I'm sounding like Jackie Gleason from the Honeymooners. Work.
Oh,
Ellie.
okay. No, listen, Jackie, stop it.
What?
Nobody, Jackie Gleason. Come on, seriously. Okay.
Oh yeah, yeah. When you said that, it made me think about that show. I watched it on YouTube for years.
Yeah.
And they were,
I remember when it was on TV. I mean, on reruns, obviously.
I was just
My parents used to watch that. Yeah. Okay, darlings, I love you. I will see you on Wednesday. Bye.
Night.